welcome to the garage gym. Kai Chai gym I call it, that's Cornish for the doghouse, because you know, where else do you go when you're in the doghouse? I'm a paramedic, and I'm trying to sort of train, I'm teaching myself as I go along, the nutrition, the routines, and what to do and what not to do. And it's got me thinking about how we're expected to train and how we're expected to do things versus what I'm realistically able to do when I'm working shifts, because I work day and night shifts. They range between 10 and 12 hours, so it's not always easy to just fall into a training routine. So everywhere you go for advice, I take a lot of advice off of YouTube, and they all say there's certain necessities for a good training program, and that's things like nutrition, the intensity of your workouts, the consistency of your workouts, and how you recover. So things like your fluid intake, your sleeping patterns, and when you rest. But there's some issues with that when you work shifts, in that you can't always slot it in where you want to. And with my job as well, even when I'm on shift, I might be busy with a job. I can't just sort of stop what I'm doing and go and eat or go and train. I have to work around what happens that day, which is a very dynamic day. Nothing's planned, and it can change on every single day. So I sort of wanted to talk about the issues with these standard necessities, and how I've worked around it. Now, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a strength or fitness coach. This is just how I do it, and that's been based on trial and error, watching loads of YouTube videos, and just from reading things online. Hopefully, if I'm completely wrong about some of this, you can give me a bit of feedback and tell me. So today I just want to talk about nutrition. It's very important that we're eating the right things, we're eating the right amount, and that we're eating at the right times is very important as well. So if we look at a sort of standard 9 till 5 worker's day, they might start their day eating at 7 o'clock with breakfast, and they might go to bed at 10 o'clock at night. And for an average person, I think it's safe to say we tend to eat 3 times a day. So you might have breakfast here, you might have your lunch in the middle, you have your dinner around 6 o'clock, and then you go to bed at 10 o'clock. Granted, when we're training, especially in sort of strength training and things like that, we might eat more often. So there might be a snack in here in between breakfast and lunch. And your lunch, you might have a snack in the afternoon. So it's something more like that. You might go as far as 6 if you're really working out a lot, or looking for big muscle gains and adding extra protein in. But that's sort of what I would expect a normal day for somebody who doesn't work shifts, especially doesn't work night shifts, to follow. The bottom one's more like what I do. So I'll be up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning for a day shift. I start at 6 o'clock. So I would usually have breakfast then before I go to work, because there's no guarantees I'm going to get time when I get there to eat something. I could go straight out and start working. So I would eat there. Then hopefully somewhere I would get a bit of a break here, and another break hopefully somewhere in the afternoon. So those are the opportunities so that I can definitely say I can eat. We don't always get this second break, so there's another issue. And then I come home, finish at 6 o'clock, so I get home and I eat there. That's if I finish on time, so that might be a different time again. And then I might have some additional supplements before I go to bed, and then get up and do it all again. Now if I'm on a 24-hour shift, or apologies, a night shift, I might miss out some of these. So I might have my first night shift in a run, I might have breakfast somewhere around here, I'll have lunch, I'll have something to eat before I go to work, and then I might have something to eat when I'm at work, And then I've got this huge period somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 7 o'clock in the morning where I'm up, I'm awake, I'm working. So you would expect to eat somewhere in there as well. So it's not spread out. Some of these are quite close together, some of these are quite far apart, and it gets really difficult. The other issue with this is I might not get back to my station at a reasonable time. I might be overrun on jobs, which means I'm not getting back any decent time. So I'm far away from station, I'm hungry, I need to eat, so where's going to be open at 2 o'clock in the morning? It's going to be fast food places. So not only am I eating at a poor time, but I'm eating junk. Now overnight, we have different hormones at play than we do during the day, so actually it's not a good idea to be eating at night at all. So you've got to find this balance between sustaining yourself through the shift, but also not eating at times where your body's not ready for it and not prepared to digest and use that fuel. So what I'll tend to do if I'm working a day shift is I won't have breakfast when I first get up. I'll get to work early and get everything ready, and then I'll have breakfast before my shift starts. I'm then going to hope that I get back to station somewhere around here so that I can have like a large kind of snack. I don't want to have lunch yet, it's too early. And then hopefully, and this is where it does get difficult, is I should get a second break somewhere in this slot. If not, I need to make do, so I tend to carry my afternoon food with me, and so I'll have lunch somewhere around here. I'll then get home, have dinner, have my nighttime supplements, some casein and things like that, and try and get to bed as early as possible, and talk about sleep in another video, and then do it all again. If I'm on night shifts, I tend to try and keep this pattern, so when I get home in the morning from a night shift, I'll eat as soon as I get home, and then I go to bed. I'll sleep until 1 o'clock, have lunch, work out in the afternoon if it's a workout day, and then I'll have quite a big meal before I go to work, and then while I'm at work I'll try and combine quite late in the evening, sort of 10-11 o'clock, I'll try and combine a small meal or a snack and some nighttime supplements and some casein, things like that, because my body's still expecting to go without food, so it's in that mode. And I'm finding that works for me quite well most of the time. If I have a busy shift or quite strenuous, then I end up stopping off at a garage, and I'll try and find something as healthy as I can, or alternatively something that's as many calories in the smallest package, just to get me through to the morning. So that's what I do. Obviously there's nights where I struggle, so I end up eating the wrong things, so then I've got to decide whether to make up for that the next day by eating less or eating changing my macros. So it's really hard in my job to just be able to say I'm going to eat that and that, because it changes every day. So hopefully that makes sense. I'd love some feedback if anybody thinks I'm talking complete rubbish, or if that's helpful to anybody who's trying to work out what you're going to do. Plan to do a couple more videos. Next one I'll talk about exercise intensity. I'm trying to build strength and muscle, so I'm trying to go for high intensity workouts with as much weight as I can manage, in as sort of small a package as I can. And again, there's going to be issues with that working around my shifts. So I'll put this one up for now. I'll have a think about the intensity video, and I'll see you back in the garage gym. Thanks.